who's here now. Gavin Wax. He is the president of the New York Young Republican Club, frequent guest on the program, back today. I just want a big picture question. What do youngsters, you're a youngster, what do you want in a candidate? I mean, do you want youth, energy, celebrity? What does Gen Z folks want?
I think young voters these days are looking for authenticity. I think they say, you know, social media, you need to be authentic to go viral, to have a big splash. You used to have a voice for radio, face for television. Now it's the authenticity for social media, for those little viral moments. And I think that's what candidates need to appeal to, that sort of authentic touch in order to reach a younger voter. And honestly, I think Kamala Harris is probably one of the most inauthentic candidates we've seen in recent memory.
How about Tim Walz?
Equally so. You know, they're both a little stiff on the.
But are you saying that because you're a Republican?
No, I'm saying that objectively. I think right now they're going through a honeymoon period, and I think the polling has reflected that. Things have tightened up. But in reality, if you look at the polling, the hypothetical polling they did prior to Kamala Harris taking on the mantle of being the candidate for the Democrat Party, it was a bloodbath for her in terms of her polling, especially in the swing states. I think we're going to return to that as more people become aware of her, get to see her more, and she's out of the basement.
We got new polling that shows Kamala Harris. She's got a double-digit lead over Trump in New York State, that is. But Trump leads Harris among Jewish voters in New York State. Do you believe that Trump can get 50%, half of the Jewish vote in New York State this year?
Well, it'd certainly be a mitzvah if that were to happen. You know, New York State has the highest concentration of American Jews in the country, and they're certainly shifting to the right, particularly at the local level. It's helping candidates down ballot in the outer boroughs in Brooklyn and even in some congressional races. But look, I think the polling we're seeing in New York is showing that, again, she's in a honeymoon period, but I think it's going to return to where Biden was, which was in the single digits, which is remarkable for Republican v. Democrat contest in the state of New York. But again, New York, crazier things have happened. We saw the gubernatorial level, 47%. We can return to those types of numbers for President Trump, and that would mean a massive success in all the other swing states and across the country.
If Donald Trump got 50%, half of the Jewish vote in New York State, I keep going back to this, that's a revolution.
Oy vey, yes, it'd be a huge mitzvah. It'd be a Hanukkah miracle, and I think it would.
Is it out of bounds? I mean, don't even think about it.
No, look, I think there was a huge discussion on the left, on the Democrat side, about not picking Josh Shapiro because they thought it'd be a political liability to have a Jewish American be on the ticket. I think that speaks volumes about the state of the Democrat Party, that they are so worried about having a Jewish candidate, a historic thing, by the way, on their ticket, that it would cost them votes in states like Michigan and elsewhere and among the left-wing radical base. So I think we're seeing a shift of American Jews. I'm Jewish, of American Jews to the Republican Party. It's over issues such as Israel, but a whole litany of other issues. The left-wing Democrats have gone far to the left in terms of their anti-Semitism and their anti-Israel hatred, and we're seeing now finally a pushback being reflected in some polls.
Can't wait for the vote. Mr. Wax, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.